Okay, we have one other caller on there, so let's take this next caller. Caller, where are you from, and what's your question?
I'm from Yucaipa, Southern California.
Okay, what's your question?
I wanted to find out if Dr. Peat knows anything about alternatives for seizure medication.
Okay, I'm sure. In fact, I know. Dr. Peat, seizure medication, or in fact your rational approach to treating epilepsy or other seizures?
Since we were just talking about the intestine, that's something that should always be taken into account. Make sure that you're not disturbing your system by eating green smoothies or too many nuts and raw foods and such, because irritation in the digestive system will increase the things that promote seizures or lower the threshold for them. And the brain is one of our biggest steroid-forming organs, produces considerable amounts of DHEA, progesterone, pregnenolone, and metabolites of those. And those have a quieting effect. And when the brain is under stress, those increase to compensate for the excitatory effects. And there are some foods that specifically excite and damage the nerves and tend to predispose you to seizures. Amino acids, for example, including glutamic acid, aspartic acid, cysteine, and tryptophan are the worst amino acids for lowering the threshold. Supplements of progesterone have been used to reduce the sensitivity to various factors. The threshold to excitation and seizure increases in proportion to the amount of pregnenolone, progesterone, and several of the metabolites of these.
Yeah,
Okay,
I had a client that had epilepsy, and she was able to wean herself off all of her medication and resume driving and lives a very normal life now. And she sticks to a very strict diet that doesn't have any kind of food that the bacteria can live on in her intestine. She takes pregnenolone and progesterone, and she has a thyroid prescription, and she also takes anti-adrenaline herbs like valerian and skullcap and passion flower.
And she had grand mal seizures, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's 35. She's had them since she was 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried the Progest-E. She was taking about 1 to 2 bottles every 3 days, but she was able to reduce her medication by 75%. But she just couldn't keep that up because, you can't keep taking that much.
Dr. Peat, what do you think about the dose of progesterone the callers talked about?
Well, the lady that I worked with, she was taking 1/8 of a teaspoon of Progest-E 3 times a day.
Has she had her thyroid hormones, including reverse T3, measured?
No.
Those can, when someone is resistant to progesterone and needs extremely large amounts of it to feel right, it's usually because their liver is letting estrogen and the excitatory things accumulate, and so it takes a supernormal amount of progesterone to steady things. And if you eat the things that your liver needs, not too much of some proteins which contain the excitatory cysteine and so on, but for example, gelatin or glycine as an additive, shifting the balance away from the excitatory proteins towards more sugar, orange juice, for example, and making sure that your thyroid is letting your liver use the proteins efficiently to store sugar and eliminate the excitatory estrogen and other things.